what do you think will be the future of golden visas and European passports?
I mean, golden visas, I think, are a wonderful set of programs. And obviously, in some countries, it created quite a lot of criticism, like Portugal being one of them, where the cost of living went up substantially in real estate. But that's just because they don't build. If they build, then, kind of like demand matches supply, and then everything is okay. But I think golden visas are great. And most importantly, sometimes they offer quite a decent path to citizenship. And if you look at some passports in most European countries, like most European countries have some colonies or ex-colonies, and they have quite tight relationship with them. And so, for example, I'm just putting an example here, like a Spanish passport, even though things might go downhill in Europe, it still gives you access to like plenty of places in Latin America. So if you believe that Latin America is going up, then might be good to have, for example, a Spanish passport or a Portuguese passport if you believe that Brazil is going to prosper. The risk here is European countries imposing citizenship-based taxation, and that's quite a big risk. So, and that's why I think that the Caribbean ones are a great bet, because in that sense, that they probably are not going to do that. And they're not going to do that because if they did that, then their passports will be way less attractive, and basically they will kill their entire citizenship by investment industry, and they rely on these industries. The EU does not rely on this as much, right? And so you have the risk of some countries going down that route. And from a populism perspective, I can see the discourse. I can see a politician coming out being like, oh, these people were raised in this country. They use our education. They use our roads. They were sunbathing under our sun, because some countries do tax the sun, for example, Spain. And so this populist discourse can happen, right? And then they are like, oh, these people that moved away, well, they still have the passport, therefore they owe taxes, right? And it's quite far-fetched and it's quite crazy, because you can go to a private school, you can buy bottled water that ships from Italy instead of drinking tap water in Spain or Greece or whatever. But this populist rhetoric, I think we are seeing a lot of it in Europe. So I'm quite worried about that.
I don't think that's crazy at all. Actually, something that not everyone knows or that often gets confused is that the US and Eritrea are not the only countries that have citizenship-based taxation. There are other places like Hungary that already have citizenship-based taxation, and there are other places that have some sorts of citizenship-based taxation. We released a report on this some months ago on CitizenX. But basically, Spain and Portugal, they already have some regulation about citizenship-based taxation. And I don't think it's crazy at all to think that basically they will just push it forward, because, the slope is already there and it's a slippery slope. And I think it makes a lot of sense. Basically, once everyone who has a meaningful income or net worth has left the country and the state is broken and, it has defaulted on the debt, basically the only tool that they will have to tax more people will be citizenship, and they will basically just go after their citizens.